Hey there, folks. Are you passionate about democracy and concerned about the rise of authoritarianism? I'm Joanne, Kevin's wife, and I've seen him give everything to this work. That's why Coffee with Democrats matters, lifting up stories, building connections, and keeping democracy strong. So tune in every Tuesday at 7 p.m. for 30 minutes of conversation with elected officials, candidates, and Democratic influencers, only on Coffee with Democrats. So join me in welcoming the Executive Director and host of Coffee with Democrats, my husband, Kevin Dawson.
All right. Buenas noches, Dr. Forbes. Bienvenido Coffee with Democrats.
Well, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. I'm so excited to be here, truly.
So my Spanish is horrible, but so I got to say to all of our guests, thank you for joining Coffee with Democrats this evening. We've got Dr. Forbes, who's running for Lieutenant Governor for the great state of Oklahoma, in the house with us in our studio.
Aquí estamos en casa.
Yes, I'm so happy about that. And boy, I wish I could speak better Spanish than what I could, but because we really got to do a better job of reaching out to the folks that are, native Spanish speakers. We've got to make sure that they're included and feel welcome in the state of Oklahoma. They are such an important part of our state. Yeah. I'm so excited to be able to have you as somebody who can be bilingual with their language and speak directly to those individuals and welcome them so much into our state and to be a part of our political process.
Yeah, exactly. I got to tell you, it's honestly a pleasure to be able to do that. I'm really thankful for our campaign team, Crystal Davis, Lauren Linus, absolutely incredible. My partner, Chris, of 12 years. And there's so many volunteers. And whenever we first got into this, I said, I have to be authentically me in doing this.
Yes.
And I've been bilingual since I was in high school. So if you can imagine learning another language in high school and then still continuing with that. And so I'm just thankful that I get to be adopted into that community. And
absolutely.
So yeah, I don't take it lightly. It's been fantastic. So I told them, I said, hey, listen, whatever we do, I have to do it bilingue because that's just who I am.
And I can't think of a better way to do that, though. In politics, of course, we're always looking for people that are lawyers, and we think that because they have a lawyer degree that they have so much better to offer. But really, it's people like yourself that coming to politics really matters because you are so relatable to all the people of Oklahoma.
Hey, and thank you. I sincerely try. I'm thankful for my background. I'm thankful that, the way that my grandparents really raised me, making sure that we were out volunteering, talking to different people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different races, different languages. It was always kind of part of my upbringing. And so I'm thankful to bring that in. Again, I just want to be authentically me and be able to relate to all of Oklahoma because it's about leading all of us.
And as we were talking earlier, it's the beginning of a new year, so happy new year.
Yes, happy new year, everyone. Truly, this is going to be a great 2026. This is a year for a lot of change. I mean, I have chills right now just thinking about it.
It's our year. It's our year. I'm going to go through the entire year. That's what I'm going to say repeatedly. It's our year.
Yeah, we're going to claim it.
I'm going to be like a football coach. It's our game to win.
It is. It is. And if we can get everyone really engaged and let people know, there's hope out there.
Yes, sure.
There's a lot that we can do. And so I just encourage everyone, go find your local candidates, look at the statewide candidates, study them, research them, support them, donate to them. That's also a need. But we have the people. We have a great up and down ballot ticket right now.
Right.
But we're also 50th when it comes to voter participation.
Right.
And I think a lot of people do become kind of disengaged, a little bit apathetic. And now's a chance to, like you said, reclaim that.
That's right. Because you know what? There's so much that you can surrender until you say, you know what, I've been sitting it out so long. I've got to get back involved. Yeah. I can't, a lot of these people, I got to tell a quick story.
Yeah.
My neighbor was totally MAGA, totally Trump. He came over to me a few weeks ago and said, Kevin, I was wrong. You were right. We had the conversation in our front yard. Absolutely wonderful conversation. Absolutely wonderful guy. But he's now saying what we need for all people in Oklahoma to say, it's time for a change. We cannot continue to go down this path of authoritarianism. We cannot continue to go down this path of taking resources away from the people who need it and giving to the people who don't, basically welfare for the rich.
Yeah.
That welfare for the rich is for the birds as far as I'm concerned.
It's not helping anybody.
No,
at all.
And part of your responsibilities is so important to what I enjoy doing, and that's outdoors responsibilities. So you're going to be, as the lieutenant governor, you're going to be responsible for the parks and recreation.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think of it's going to give you that opportunity to travel and not spend all of your time up there in the Capitol being, sequestered basically for, days on end, but you get that opportunity to meet people where they are.
Well, one, I love to travel. So, I mean,
Good.
growing up, I got to travel all over the place, being in the arts and my dance background, my acting background. It's taken me all over, from Cairo, Egypt, doing magic shows, all the way to being on Royal Caribbean Cruise Line as a singer and a dancer. But the great part about like that background is bringing that to the forefront here, because Lieutenant Governor gets to be the PR person for the state of Oklahoma. Like, we can be your cruise director.
Yeah.
And I travel to all these different conferences for education, most specifically. And people will ask me, where are you from? And I say Oklahoma, and they go, oh. And I'm like, no. Every rose has its thorns,
Right.
but Oklahoma has great people. Oklahoma is a beautiful state. Our parks, the recreation that we have, and then we're about to host the World Cup. We have the centennial coming up for Route 66. The Olympics are going to be here.
Yes.
I mean, this is the time to really show off all the greatness that we have in our state.
So I always ask every candidate that comes in here about the 3 top questions that I have for them. Why are you running?
Why am I running? So, I never, and if you've been on Forbes for Oklahoma.com on the website or any of the social media, maybe saw the commercial that we had created. I'm not a career politician. This was kind of not really on my bingo card necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, I've always talked about it, and
Mm-hmm.
my grandparents, most specifically, and I would talk about it all the time. And they like to kind of joke with me that I was very opinionated. I had a lot of opinions about things, and so my grandparents would say, "Why don't you just run for governor?" And I said, that'd be so much fun. And my partner Chris said, "I think you're the only person that says that would be fun." I'm like, "No, I think it'd be fantastic. It's definitely hard work. It comes with a mountain of responsibility. However, at the same time, though, that's good, worthy work to be a servant leader, and I want to do that." So you fast forward a little bit. And just to kind of preface this, I was on the patio with my grandparents, and we were talking about it again. And my papa said, "Why don't you just run for governor?" And then my Kiki, she goes, "Why don't you just run for president?" And we all kind of laughed about it. You fast forward a little bit, my grandmother had a stroke. She unfortunately passed away. And then 3 days later, my grandfather passed away from a broken heart. And I had always promised that I would be there to help support them, whatever their needs were. And so that being said, you fast forward a few months, and my life has changed, and also, time is different now.
Right.
And so there I am again on a patio, honestly having a glass of wine, not necessarily a cup of coffee like we are right now, but having a glass of wine. And that's whenever I turned to Chris and I said, am I going to keep talking about things on the patio or stand up and do it?
Yeah,
and I now have the ability, and I know the responsibility that comes with that. I'm also certified to be a superintendent of schools. And the reason why I bring that up is just because you're working with so many different types of people. You're working with little people, big people. You're working with community partners. You're working with nurses. You're working with counselors. You're working with people all over. And so whenever you can elevate those types of conversations to create a collective impact for the whole state, I'm suffering in the same way that other people are suffering. And there just gets to be that point where I cannot be on the sideline anymore. So I'm running because I want to serve. We don't deserve to be last place in education.
No,
we don't deserve to be 51st in women's health, 48th in healthcare, number 2 in domestic violence. And I'm also on the board of directors for Palomar, Oklahoma City's Family Justice Center in Oklahoma City. And, it just comes to the point where you didn't realize that you were preparing for something your whole life. And then it happened right now. And, you just knew this is the time. And I was ready and willing and wanted to stand up and help serve the great people of Oklahoma.
And I can't think of a better job than lieutenant governor, because unlike the actual governor's job, where it's really kind of bogged down with legislative responsibilities, you do have responsibility because you'll be, the president of the Senate, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you still have the ability to do those things that you love to do and travel and not be bogged down as much. But it's still a job that has an enormous amount of responsibility, and you're taking it on so well. And you as people have just been able to hear what you just said, you're so well versed on how that job and the responsibilities of the job. So I'm really going to tell people, I'm going to encourage people to do what I'm going to do, and that's support you for Lieutenant Governor.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I don't think there's any reason why this can't be a joyful campaign at the same time. There's been a lot of fear mongering and things of that nature going on. And so I just want to keep this happy and exciting, but at the same time, talk about real issues that we have, but also coming with real solutions. But to your point, though, Lieutenant Governor has a fantastic, fun job. You do have the responsibilities of being president of the Senate, so you break a tie if there is one. I don't think we've had one since 2006, so this is why it's important to get invested and start looking at your local candidates.
Right.
But then also, yeah, you get to go around and just really show off the great state of Oklahoma, but that also means you're engaged with a lot of people, a lot of different backgrounds as well. And that's where I think that my expertise can really come in with my dissertation study, for example, looking at the role of cultural proficiency and what that looks like. And that just helps me better understand, like, what kind of barriers do we have and what guiding principles can we really look toward? And at the same time, how does that have an implication for unhealthy or healthy practices when it comes to attracting people to Oklahoma, keeping people in Oklahoma, bringing business to Oklahoma, really spreading more tourism here in Oklahoma, and just celebrating who we are.
Right. And man, that gives me chills, because you're talking about the scientific method of building a hypothesis, doing the research, and then putting it into study. And I can't, it's so wonderful to hear people talk about that. We've got some really good people online that are
hey, you guys
joining us, and I'm really excited about that. Care Bear 42, thanks for coming on. And yes, it is our year, and I appreciate you joining us on Coffee with Democrats tonight. Also, let's take this opportunity, everybody, to go out and text message your neighbors, your friends, all of the people in your circle. Let them know that Dr. Forbes is in the house with us today, to come on Coffee with Democrats and watch this show. This is all. You'll also be able to watch this later on the recording. So if you don't want to join us now, at least let people know that they can watch this, the recording of this later on, because it'll be around for a while, for a long while, until the election happens. So.
Yeah, I'll do a little shout out to Lauren Linus. I know you're watching. She's our great and fantastic deputy campaign manager. Crystal Davis, our manager. I don't know if she's watching or not, and also my partner Chris. But everyone else out there, truly, thanks for being here. And I'm just so excited that you're here and that you're engaged, and I truly care about you.
Right. Well, and so that brings us to question number 2. We want to know your background. You know, why are you running? Why should people vote for you?
People should vote for me because I really have the background that has led me up for this role specifically. I think this role really lends itself to somebody who can be a communicator and a connector for a lot of people. And that's been my experience and what I've done when it comes to the arts, when it comes to working on boards, like I said, for Palomar, the Oklahoma Association for Bilingual Education, but also traveling the whole state of Oklahoma as a small business owner with my own small business, and helping with educational consulting. But in doing that, though, I've been able to meet people from all over the state, hearing their stories, but hearing their stories also in 2 languages.
Right.
That brings another perspective to this, right? And so whenever we're considering what this looks like for, you know, considering some of the concerns that we have currently in the state and what we can do to make sure that we're bringing people together to make big changes with real solutions, while at the same time advertising the greatness of who we are. That's what I've been doing, being on stage, encouraging people to be involved, not just in voting, but also in their education systems and their local communities. And that's what this role is. It's bringing people together, making sure that we're building up our economy, we're showcasing the great aspects of what we have here in Oklahoma, and lifting up the voices of the people here so that way they're being heard, because government is supposed to serve them.
And the great thing about what you talk about, and I'm just building on what you're talking about, and that is that we don't have to wait for a crisis to see the Oklahoma standard put in place.
No, not at all.
We see that on a regular basis just by getting out and meeting with other people, and just like what's going on between me and my neighbor now, we're gaining a friendship now.
Yeah, and that's the connection part. It's being with people.
Right.
And I mean, it was kind of funny because in the beginning of the campaign, they said, "Oh my gosh, you're going to get so tired." And truth be told, yes, it's a lot of work and it's statewide. So, and I'm human. Yeah, you do get tired. but I get energized
Yes.
whenever I'm with people. I love meeting people. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care where it is. I want to know you. I want to talk with you. And we have to start having these conversations. We have to changing the narrative a little bit. And if we can change hearts, we can change minds.
So I'm going to bash the guy that's currently the lieutenant governor. I'm not going to mention his name.
Okay.
But we never hear him. He never comes out in public. He always is, it's like this whole Republican, this whole machine that they've got going on is based on we're better than everybody else. They're the elitists. And I'm going to call them out for it. So bear with me.
Yeah.
But that is not you. That is not you. You are the person that wants to be out there, pressing the flesh, talking to each other, shaking hands, kissing babies, all the things that a great politician is good for, and not only do you do it to get in office, but you'll continue to do it even after office, because again, it's about trying to raise the state up to a level that it's capable of and not settling for being in last place.
Yeah. And here's the thing though, it's like, I genuinely care.
Yeah.
I genuinely care about you if you support me, and I genuinely care about you if you don't necessarily support me. And that's the beauty of a democracy.
Right.
That's the beauty. But you know what? Iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And so I want to make sure that I don't have my blinders on and that I'm hearing different points of views, because sometimes I'm not going to quite understand the whole story.
Right.
But that's where I want to learn the whole story, because that's going to better inform me to, again, elevate those voices and create space for the voice of Oklahomans to be heard. I think it's important to know that, I mean, to your point, I mean, and I'll give accolades where accolades are due, the great things that have happened, right? But at the same time, though, if we see a problem, we see an issue, shame on us if we're silent about that. We need to be able to stand up and say things. And that's why I want to leverage that platform to be able to have the good conversations, the easy ones, but also the difficult and the hard ones.
Speaking of that, Kimberly Kay is on, and she says she's so proud of you and what you stand for.
Hey, I had no idea. That's my mama. Mama, I love you. I'm so fortunate to have a mom who is 100% supportive. And I have to say, no offense to the whole entire campaign team, but she is the #1 campaigner. We have been in multiple places, and she'll pull out the walk card even at the bank or wherever, and wearing her t-shirt all the time. So thanks, Mom. I love you.
Well, that's wonderful. But again, that's the kind of expression that we're going to see from a lot of people during this campaign and after you're elected, because that's just the nature of who you are. And I think you're going to bring the best out of people once you become lieutenant governor. We talked about who you were. We talked about why you wanted to run. Let's talk about a little bit something else that I didn't, may not have prepared earlier, but let's talk about some of the things that you think are hallmark items that are really important for the lieutenant governor to be really involved in. You've touched on some of them already, but let's get into some of them that you really have your heart set on, that you really want to make an impact for the state of Oklahoma. Yeah,
thank you for that. So the through line of this entire campaign for me is education.
Yeah.
Any community that has a real great thriving public education has a great thriving economy. Again, it's attracting people, keeping people, you're building your resources, you're making connections, you're connecting all the dots like you need to, and people do better off because of that. So it's really important to me to have real conversations and be able to have a relationship with our upcoming state superintendent as well, to be able, because I will be the person that will be out there all across the state, and I get to do that. And that's the exciting part. But also with my understanding and expertise of what the implications are for having a good school system and what that means for our economy, for our state, that's a big focus of mine. The other part is that I do have a very rare background when it comes to the arts.
Yeah.
So not only arts in education, and that would be a component of that, but what does that mean for tourism that we have here? Bringing in great, amazing talent and then exposing all of our kids and our families to the talent that we have. And we have such diversity as well that you get to experience and explore different countries being right here within the state of Oklahoma because of the great people that we do have.
Sure. And so you brought up education so much through your conversation. I was reading earlier this week, Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation They're not finished, and they're not happy about where we're at with the state of Oklahoma with Ryan Walters quitting. They're instituting Project 2026. Again, their attack is going to be on education. I don't know how they can attack Oklahoma worse than what they've currently attacked, but
Don't tempt them.
Yeah, just wait for whatever the new low is, they're going to go for it.
Yeah.
We can anticipate that. But we also have, again, somebody like yourself as a champion for education who can combat that. And your message, I think, is going to be so perfect to resonate. Look at how communities are going to be hurt if they get accomplished what they want accomplished. The state of Oklahoma is not going to be able to afford what we have. Look at the football programs, the baseball programs, basketball programs that have been so ingrained into education, dance, the band systems that we have.
Yes.
All of those are going to be affected.
That's where kids get scholarships. That's where they get community. They learn teamwork. They learn working together. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and the whole communities out here, El Reno, for example, I used to work in El Reno. El Reno revolves around the school and the school activities. Chickasha, Oklahoma, where I used to live, revolves around the
Skytook. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole lot. It's really important. The other important factor, though, is education and healthcare.
Sure.
I mean, those are really two.
Well, let's get more into healthcare, because we've talked a lot about education, but I haven't given you an opportunity to talk about healthcare. So go ahead and take it away.
Well, I just, it's really important to be paying attention to what we're learning right now, but what's happening in our healthcare system in our rural areas. And so whenever we're discussing being 51st for women's healthcare and 48th in healthcare overall, and I guess according to what you're reading, it might be a place high or lower, but it's the bottom 10 regardless. You have to ask, why is that? And if our doctors are leaving the state of Oklahoma for fear of losing their license, for example, that's not good. No. We have a lot of health issues here in Oklahoma, and we need to take care of each other. Right. I mean, it goes back to just, loving thy neighbor as thyself. Treat others as you want to be treated.
Yes.
And I don't care who you are. I want you to have a good education. I want you to have access to your health because you deserve that. It's just a human right to have. Oh,
and you're speaking my language when you say that, because right now we're looking at a large portion of our population that's going to lose, or they're going to lose insurance because they're not going to be able to afford insurance anymore, because the Republicans did not renew the ACA.
Yeah.
And that's going to harm our own Oklahomans, probably worse than anybody can imagine. And the people that are more the poorest part of our community is going to be affected the worst. Right. And again, we're taking reverse Robin Hood. We're taking from the poor and giving to the rich. Yep. It's got to stop someday.
I was just speaking to someone the other day, and he needs 2 different sets of pills. Insurance isn't going to cover it. One's $500, one's $100. That's $600 in a month.
Right.
Not everyone can do that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. And I think it's also important to make sure that we're really having good relationships, real positive, wholesome, respectful relationships with our tribal nations as well.
Oh, good idea. Good. I'm glad you brought that up.
I mean, whenever I talk about collective impact, that's what I'm talking about. People are going to be coming and going all the time, especially in politics. You're going to term out at some point, right? And so people are always going to be cycling through, but there are leaders in these different communities that we have. And we need to really respect them and bring them into the conversation. And that's where we do create that collective impact. And that's what creates a greater Oklahoma overall, because we're working together.
Well, man, I tell you what, I'm so excited to have you on Coffee with Democrats. We've got some things coming up on Coffee with Democrats that I do need to talk just briefly about.
Yeah.
But before I do that, I want to give you that opportunity to speak for a few minutes, for 2, 3, 5 minutes, whatever you want to take. And just, give us your best elevator speech. You've been doing such a fantastic job. I don't know how you can do better than what you've done right now.
I appreciate you.
I want you to give the opportunity. And if there's a topic that you want to talk about that we haven't covered, please go for it, because we do have time for you to be able to do that.
Well, I just want to remind everyone, honestly, to first of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for having me here. I sincerely thank everyone who's watching right now, everyone who's going to be watching later for the recording. Thanks for being engaged. Thanks for being involved. I think that the most important thing that we can do right now is that we can be talking to our friends. We can be sending them text messages. We can make sure that we're making phone calls, that we talk to our neighbors over at our local coffee shops, whatever this looks like, but that we're spreading the message and that we do have hope. And there were 140,000 registered Democrats who did not participate in the 2024 election. And a lot of people that I've talked to, they say that they haven't really participated in voting since medical marijuana was on the ballot. That's just the truth. Or they don't necessarily believe in government. So that way they're not even registered to vote. There have been a lot of people that have been registering to vote whenever I talk with them. They get excited. And the one thing that they're most excited about is that I'm not a career politician. I'm not running to run for something else later. I'm running to do this work. And so I just sincerely hope that people continue to be engaged. Let their friends know, let all of us know there is hope out there. And we have the choice right now to choose the Oklahoma that we want to see in the future. And I believe that with all of our powers combined, that we can actually make this happen and that we can make sure that we continue with that hope in sight and that we don't lose focus. Stay steady, stay the course, stay this race, stay focused, and we're going to make a big change and it's going to be fantastic. And again, it's all of us working together. It might be me running, but this is our campaign.
Right. So I'm going to bring up a couple of things. I'm going to pull up your website.
All right.
Dr. Forbes, it's actually, I've got it. I'm going to put it on the screen here so everybody can see it.
ForbesForOklahoma.com. Right. Share.
And it's on the screen. People are looking at it right now. One of the things that I want everybody to be able to go to and look at right now, folks, I cannot tell you enough how much we need support financially.
Yes.
It's Alicia Andrews taught me this when she was state chair. We need your time, your talent, and your toil for every single candidate that's out here. And your time, your talent, and your treasure is the other one. And so we need to have those three things. And treasure is so important for every single candidate. We understand that your money is very hard to come by. But if you can give a coffee cup, we have coffee with Democrats. That's what we do. So if you have a $5 coffee that you buy somebody else sometime, think of that as giving that money to that candidate so that that candidate can use that. That $5 can go a long ways. And if all of us contribute together, the community together, giving that $5 cup of coffee equivalent to the candidate, it's going to allow for more travel time. It's going to be allow for more face-to-face time, more opportunities for mailers to be sent out, more opportunities for telecommunications to be taking place. And to be honest with you, no candidate out here can do it without staff, and we've got to pay our staff to do this as well. So
like I said, we have a really great team. We're building a great coalition, and you're right. It's an investment, and I know that money can be tight for people, and people say like every dollar counts, but then you're in that position. You're like literally every dollar counts. And whenever I talked with a teacher friend of mine, I asked her, I said, can you just tell me sincerely, like, how does it feel whenever you're getting asked all the time about this? She says, hey, it's just one less cup of coffee that I buy, and I consider it an investment. So to your point, it's investing in Oklahoma.
And I've got it on the screen where people can see there. You've got it preset so that people can see exactly what if you start at $10, but if you don't want to give, down in the lower right, there's a white box down there. Just fill in the amount that you want to give. You can, if you want it recurring, you can do that, or if not recurring, you don't have to do that.
Correct.
You put your card in, and it's just as easy as that. It's just as easy as it can be. So we want people to be able to continue to finance and support our candidates. And I'm going to say something that I don't say to a lot of candidates. I am excited about your campaign. I'm behind you in your campaign. I'm supporting your campaign, and I'm going to support your campaign financially as well. So folks that are watching, I don't say that very much because I can't contribute to every single candidate, but I think that Kelly is one of them that I really want to get behind and support financially. And I hope you'll do the same with me. We might as well do a Kevin Dawson telethon, like the old Jerry Lewis telethon.
Hey, let's do that. I know a few entertainers that can come and put on a show in the meantime also.
So folks, we're getting close to the end of our time here on Coffee with Democrats. And I want to, Dr. Forbes, you are an awesome individual. You're a great candidate. And I'm, completely supporting your campaign, and I wish you nothing but success from now to the election and during the election. But also, I just want to tell everybody, we've got some great opportunities coming forward on Coffee with Democrats. we are not just an Oklahoma operation. We do a lot of Oklahoma operation. I'm stationed here in Oklahoma, but our next candidate coming on the on here, we have two of them. One is in Oklahoma is Che Lynn. Che, I think, is what she goes by, and Che Moore, and she's from the
Skytook. Yeah, I know her.
So she's going to be on the 20th, and then on the 27th, we're going to Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. Matt Minter, he's a candidate from Maryland, House District 41, is going to be on Coffee with Democrats.
Exciting.
So we are a national podcast. So we're excited about having him come on there. And we're getting requests from candidates from all over the nation to come on Coffee with Democrats. And it's exciting for us because we're trying to build the brand, but we're trying to build the brand so that it helps fellow Democrats.
Yep, and creating great conversation.
Right.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Forbes, thank you, and thank you to our audience. You're a great group of people, and we can.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to having more conversations with you shortly. I'm hoping that we can have a conversation at least once a quarter.
Yeah, I want to. And anyone out there watching, hey, I just encourage you, email us, text us, interact with us on social media, because we are responding, and I want you to be involved in this campaign. So I appreciate you, and I care about you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And as I say on Coffee with Kevin, that's the other show that I do every morning.
Now you got Coffee with Kelly.
Yeah, Coffee with Kevin, Coffee with Democrats. We're going to be all coffeed up all day long. But folks, let's keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Coffee with Democrats is broadcast from the Multimedia studio inside the Cleveland County Democrats office with their gracious permission to use the space. Our thanks to the Cleveland County Democrats Central Committee and Chair Jamie Shelton for accommodating our Tuesday night show.